r/DeadBedrooms. Odd Palpitation 839 says, my wife is in denial about our dead bedroom. Therapy has not helped, and I'm out of options. I 41 MHL and my 42 FLL wife have been married for 16 years, together for 19. While we were dating/engaged we would have sex daily. I could not keep her off of me, and we would try new kinks/public sex, roadhead etc. She left a guy she had been with for 4 years for me, and took the lead sexually. The moment we got married that all stopped. I have not gotten a BJ/HJ in the 15 years we have been married. When I confront her about this, she basically says she had no intentions of doing those things once we were married. We have what seems to be the picture perfect marriage. Great house, kids, careers, yet practically no sex to speak of. When we do have sex, 2-3 times a year, she will let me know by laying on the bed naked. I will go down on her, and then it's strictly missionary. She will have multiple orgasms, but is basically a starfish. Never reciprocates. I'm not allowed to take a shower with her. When we go on vacation I always make sure that we have our own bedroom, but it never leads to sex. I'm in great athletic shape, coach my kids' sports teams, very involved in the community, good job, but that doesn't seem to matter. I can't tell you how many times I've been approached by a woman to cheat. She knows this, but doesn't seem to care. We've been in marriage counseling for 2 years, and believe we have just been flushing money down the drain. The first therapist said we did not need marriage counseling, but should seek a sex therapist. So we began sex therapy sessions. We've tried date nights etc. The therapist has suggested that my wife see a naturopathic doctor to have her hormones looked at, but my wife refuses to. My therapist has confided in our solo session that she does not believe my wife will change, and that we will likely never have an active sex life again. Yet when I try to discuss anything sex related with her I'm met with constant gaslighting. Last year I asked for an open marriage and my wife freaked out, not over me sleeping with other women, but because she was scared people in town might find out. The therapist suggested that I should be able to see sex workers on the side. I don't really want to, and my wife didn't really seem to care. I don't know where to go from here. I love my kids and can't imagine not being in their lives 24/7. However, being in a sexless marriage is making me depressed and destroying my self-esteem. I've already told my wife I'm gone when the kids go to college unless things change, and she just shrugs it off. Any advice is appreciated as I do not know what else to do. I love her, but cannot carry on with life like. Mission_exit_3660 says, today is our 34th anniversary, of which the last 19 have been DB. I'm going to tell you that you need to leave. Leave now. Leave while she is healthy, before you become trapped as her caregiver. Go live your best life while it's still possible. She's not going to change. The situation will not improve and will only worsen. Walk and don't even look back. Agreeable Celery 811 says, if you really want to stay in this marriage so you can be with the kids, fine. My advice is that you should reconsider the sex worker idea. If your wife is more okay with idea because it would be more discreet, I get it. If you're in a small town, word of your affairs could get around, but a sex worker is paid to keep it on the down low and will not blow up your life. They won't make unreasonable demands on you and will understand your situation. If you're worried that the sex will feel cold or dirty somehow, reconsider that bias. Good sex workers often have long-term clients with whom they develop a sexual connection and an affectionate, friendly relationship. You may end up seeing the same nice lady once a month for years and years and having a pleasant rapport with her. You could then divorce when your kids are in college or out of the house. Jotech15 says, damn. I could have written this. I'm 27 years in, and I think your wife and mine are virtual twins. I flushed years of counseling money down the drain because my wife was not engaged and really didn't want to go. My plan is also leave when my youngest graduates HS. It will be expensive to leave. I got over the esteem issues because I've been hit on more than a few times. It's definitely her and not me with the whole sex thing. My wife wouldn't care if we never had sex again. Or I don't think she would care. Anyway, I focus on me. You should focus on you. I work out at least 5 times a week. My cardio health is great. I'm fit and never felt better. Definitely get fit and stay that way. The new women you will have sex with will appreciate it. Give stellar advice says. I've already told my wife I'm gone when the kids go to college unless things change, and she just shrugs it off. Have you checked the divorce laws in your state? She may be shrugging it off because she knows that a divorce wouldn't really have much impact on her life. Document available 683 says. Wow. Sorry man. Honestly, I would start hiding money in any way that I could. Take out cash. Turn it into gold and hide it. If someone coldly stole years of my life that way, I would do everything that I could to leave with the most that I could. How you are not completely overcome with anger is a tribute to yourself. r/DeadBedrooms. Hotily8829 says. What a life. For background, realities of where I am. I'm checked out of the relationship with my wife due to constant rejections. It seems like she doesn't care either. We barely talk unless we need to. I have been thinking about divorce and how would custody work. I love my daughters and would want primary custody, but am afraid won't get it. The reason I'm posting is this week I'm traveling for work. It was a 1-week trip returning on Sunday. My daughter has called me every day saying she misses me and can't wait for me to return home. It broke my heart. I can't make my princess feel hurt/unhappy. So I'm stuck in this marriage I guess until the kids are older, and that makes me sad. I will do what I need for my daughter's happiness, but I'm just sad because I think I also deserve some happiness. Apakskowski says. Would or could you be a better father if you were happy and divorced? While the time may not be the amount you would like, the quality and your overall demeanor may be amplified enough to outweigh that loss. Desperate Pirate 6 says. You say you've checked out of the marriage due to constant rejection. What is the context around that? Is your wife a good mother? Does she treat you with respect and courtesy? To break a marriage on a poor sex life can be justified, but it's a big step unless you have come to the conclusion that everything in your marriage is of no or little value. Art Vanderlei 1962 says. I too have 2 daughters and they are the 2 reasons my wife and I never divorced. Our sex life has always been mostly dead, and there are other issues aside. I have often felt emotionally abused and neglected, but I could never have left my kids. That said, I may have been a better dad had I been a happier one. Kids are resilient and divorce can be done well. If you travel a lot for work, then divorce might not be all that big a change. Anyway, good luck working through it. Restorga20 says. Many people stay in relationships because of their children. Some relationships end up turning into friendships. Do whatever you feel is necessary. r/DeadBedrooms. Very rubbish says. Long distance marriage. Is sexual incompatibility a reasonable reason for divorce? My husband and I have only actually had about 2 weeks worth of sex on our honeymoon when we first got married a few months ago. We haven't seen each other since we got our honeymoon as we live in different countries. We did not have sex before our marriage, mostly due to distance. It is the worst sex of my life, and he wants to have sex every day when we are together. I'm actually happy for the distance, because I don't want him to touch me, because I physically do not enjoy having sex with him, and I don't like kissing him either. He's the worst kisser in my life. He wets my whole face, and really likes it like that, and doesn't take correction when I mentioned I don't like my face wet. I'm usually HL, and have had no issues with exes, but with him I'm very lines, but have just been having sex to keep him happy. I tried to ignore all of this, since I felt like I was being superficial to want to leave a very good man who loves me over sex. But I also feel like this isn't normal. Perth Guy 999 says, sounds like you are both high libido and you just need to be more assertive in getting treated and getting the sex you want. Meaned my pelvic floor says, wet kisses are a big turn off for me. Did he kiss like that before? There are more incompatibilities than sex. I'm sorry you have such a big decision during your honeymoon phase. r/DeadBedrooms. Throwawaygle 716 says, I left and a part of me regrets it. I, 22F, was in a dead bedroom with 22 meters because he has a severe porn addiction that caused him to choose porn over me, and he was unable to get hard. He had an addiction to regular porn and also bestiality porn. Eventually I couldn't take it anymore, despite the fact he was trying to quit. Eventually I want to get married and have a baby, and it scared me to imagine that life with him, because if he's having issues like this now, what would our life look like together 5 to 10 years from now with kids? Usually that's when dead bedrooms happen. This is our prime time and he's having issues. That's what I kept thinking. He had to move states to live with his parents, as where I live is too expensive for him to live alone. I feel sad. I lost my best friend basically. I miss him. Any advice is appreciated. Faroundfout83 says, you are dodging the biggest bullet possible. If he is into bestiality porn at 22, it will just escalate. Your sadness will pass, and the further you get away from the situation the more you're going to see it clearly for what it is. Tony Tough Stuff says, buy a dog. He'd probably come back. Jordan Hart 88 says, you can let yourself mourn the loss of the friend, but trust me, him losing you will hopefully help him hit rock bottom and change and be better for whoever he is around in his future. Emmet says, 22 years old. Look forward, not backward. You dodged a bullet, and in time you will understand it. Roman Singit says, you'll mourn the relationship and what it could have been now, but give it a year and you'll be so glad it's over. r/DeadBedrooms. Drunken_cooking says, honestly, I get it. I wouldn't wanna, frick, me either. Sbrickwex says, I don't know. I did 3 times the other day, and it felt pretty amazing. Tricky Sentence 9917 says, ingredients to being attractive. 1. Style, modern clothes and haircut. 2. Sports, health, weight. 3. Well-paying passionate job. 4. Humor, relaxed energy, being yourself. Check the boxes and work on them. You will enjoy yourself at least. At maximum your partner will like you, or you will find a new partner. Chubbiliver1920 says, I hear you. Ali_Lorraine_1159 says, why? Blue Angel 788706 says, I honestly sometimes have the same thoughts. Wish I didn't though. Throwaway 748,292,748 says, yeah. Cool Caterpillar 269 says, same. r/DeadBedrooms. Nervous Medium 7550 says, awkward? Anyone else feel the longer in between sex the harder it is to initiate, and things start to feel weird? It's like the longer goes the weirder things get to actually have sex. Seems like there is pressure built up on both sides, and since it's been a while everything feels like it has to be perfect, not tired, not full, spontaneous, no kids, no work the next day, etc. Obviously the fix is to have more sex, but that's why we're all here. Just venting, I guess. See if anyone else feels this way. Sucks because sex used to feel so natural as it should be. Work to thrive says. Yes. Awkward and disappointing. Awkward feeling plus too much alcohol, plus missionary Mary equals post-sex pissed off that I gave in and had crappy sex. In our situation, I'm sorry to say that the awkwardness was an indication of further decline of a sex life that was on life support. Unmagnus says. Yeah, it defs is tougher and the longer in between the more pressure there is, or at least feels that way. Hatter still hitting says. I think I've developed anxiety and depression now. Probably because I've learned and copied with saying no to pity/duty sex. It's the worst. I don't even know what to do anymore. Blackalukadahk says. I get this, it feels like you don't even know what to do anymore. I question if I ever did. Good luck. Mare19 says. Totally understand, it feels awkward, forced, and robotic. There is no passion or spontaneity. I feel like an awkward teenager with my own damn husband. Frankie Meatballs says. Of course is awkward, because you know your partner doesn't even want, so the whole ceremony feels forced and fake. I will just say no instead, save the awkwardness, and go shoot a load down the shower drain. r/DeadBedrooms. Cattleman XL says. What brought me peace was accepting that she doesn't find me sexually attractive anymore. There are men she would simply frick, but apparently that iced me. Eventually I accepted the reality that we're in a dead bedroom and I stopped anticipating sex. I now orgasm 7 days a week via masturbation and plan on leaving her in the near future. It still hits me hard on days like these. Endless Sky 1 says. I have accepted that as well. She does care if you masturbate. That's where the issue is in my relationship. Well, besides no sex, it's definitely putting more tension between us. Because okay, don't wanna have sex with me, fine. But I can't touch myself without it being a problem, not that's where I draw the line. Poor Pool General says. Good work getting there. First step is admitting you're not the problem. Ridesm0W says. I couldn't get there. I tried so hard. So much therapy. They left and it's dark and hell is hot. 5 years of marriage gone. In a flash. Sorry to vent it, I'm trying to keep it inside. I don't think I qualify anymore. I'm living in a memorial to my belief that I had enough love and fight for to. Get yourself resilient. Don't do what I did. Don't listen to those online bullshit artists. Dig deep and find a goal and build a shrine to that goal. You can't change someone's mind. Feel that pain and use that son of a bitch to fuel you. Run, do something, use that pain and fear and self-doubt and just be the best person you can be. Easier said than done, but we don't live that long. You might not be happy, but you will be resilient. Nautistrada says. Glad you've made a plan. Get out and find the loving, generous partner you deserve. r/DeadBedrooms. I Fire Got Zone says. Just give up. I'm coming to the conclusion that we all, both sides, should just stop suffering and move on and find a more compatible relationship, or be alone and enjoy the peace. We don't deserve this, and the institution of marriage is a complete joke. It's not viable. Why should we suffer our whole lives to try to live up to some bullshit ideal? We are all completely forgotten 50 years after we're gone. We don't mean anything, but we're given this amazing chance to, frick, live, and we should all make the most of it. LA4thuin says, unfortunately a lot of people are chained by fear, fear of the unknown, fear of being alone, but it's hard for them to face it, so they'll make excuses and claim they are staying for the sake of the kids, or the dog, or whatever. Sad really. Savvy Lynx says, break those mental chains. Indeed, we will die and no one will, frick, ein care, live ee. I_speak_for_the_ent says, unless it's depression or some sort of mental illness, arguably people should actually strive to make change if they actually love their partner. For the HL, it's hard to leave because you love them. That's the whole reason you want physical intimacy with them specifically anyway. And you don't want to believe that they don't really care about you as much as they say they do. It's hard as frick. Angel Warrior 911 says, despite the challenges, I feel that with my spouse I'm living my best life. I suppose I could be wrong, but I don't see it that way. And I'm also extremely stubborn. I hate giving up. Lol. But it is more about the first part. Untrue Civility 30 says, I'm in the same boat. Tanith says, agree 100%, I say that here regularly and I'm attacked no end. Check out Dismuthafuka says, we are all completely forgotten 50 years after we are gone. Bold of you to think I'll be remembered that long. r/DeadBedrooms. Gonabitdily says, I crave sex so much. I met my husband when I was a dumb 18-year-old. Only had a couple of partners before him. He was 30. He was never interested in sex. At all. He always had excuses. I always believed them. Hoping one day it would get better. It didn't. I married him fully knowing this issue. He is my best friend. We have the same outlook on life. We just didn't have sex. But also he doesn't like physical touch. I love it, on the other hand. I thought intimacy was only one part of a relationship. We had all other parts amazing. I was wrong. I crave sex. I crave intimacy so much. Warmth of another person. After nearly 10 years with an asexual husband and twice a year sex. I feel so lonely. Aroused, all the time. Everything turns me on, and puts me over the edge. Yesterday a colleague jokingly called me a good girl and I immediately got wet. I was so embarrassed with myself. I'm at the end of my rope. Now I understand. When sex is good, it's only 20% of a relationship. When it's bad it's 80% of the problems and turns everything into a slight shade of grey. Overconfident dude says, is he open to non-sexual intimacy like taking a shower together? Also if he doesn't like physical touch, but is very intellectual, he may be high functioning with ASD. For those with ASD, sensory issues tend to be very pronounced as it relates to any sexual touching. So much so that touch can be painful. If that is the case, it actually can open a wealth of possibilities to work around these issues. In particular forms of sexual play that involve sensory deprivation, like placing a thick and soft blanket over him as you gently touch and explore. Anyway, I could be totally missing the boat about ASD, but for those with sensory issues it is easy for it to go unnoticed as the source of the problem and present itself as asexuality due to not wanting to be touched. Drive says, these situations are painful. You deserve to have a fulfilling, intimate life. Law Contest says, I crave it too, even at my advanced age. Magpie 81 says, there's no one answer fix, but talking to him and letting him know that what's happening at the moment isn't enough for you and you need a physical relationship. It's really hard, but he may surprise you with his answer. r/DeadBedrooms. CM 1974 says, the day is better alone. There's nothing worse than being in a marriage void of affection. connection and yes, sex on Valentine's Day. As the day approaches, I get a sick feeling in my stomach. What used to be a day we would celebrate our deep warm love for each other is now just an annual reminder of how, frick, ed up our marriage has become. She wants to just keep going and pretend everything is okay, but it's not and hasn't been in a very long time. It's so hard anymore to try and shop for anything on Valentine's Day, even a stupid card. It's now just fake. Yet, she is the mother of my children and I can very faintly remember what she used to be to me. I looked at the cards. Do they have one that says we can't stand each other anymore? But here we are. Again on this dreadful day. No, they don't, and I just can't bring myself to get her a card that exemplifies the exact opposite of what I feel anymore. In the end, I settled on a card from the kids that she's a great mother. Because that's all she is anymore. A good mother. I also signed it. I know it seems shitty, but I think it's worse to pretend everything is okay when it's not. I look at her, and she still looks beautiful to me. But with that is a feeling of absolute worthlessness that has deeply taken over my existence. I've never been high in self-esteem and I cannot blame her for all of that, but the way this has gone down the tubes has made me feel lower than ever. I feel unwanted, useless, ugly, weird, weak, and shameful. Happy Valentine's Day. Suppernet 386 says, I was dreading getting a card. Most of the ones I saw are just overly romantic garbage. I managed to find one that wasn't serious. I can't give someone a card full of things that aren't true right now. That's Ginamaki Mark says, an honest card is a good thing. The kids card thing works. I shop for cards in another section that are blank inside. Write something in it honest or skip altogether. Skooksk says, I remember being single and alone on V-Day. I was like man, wish I had a girlfriend. Then I would just get some taco and watch horror movies. I did release how lucky I was back then. r/DeadBedrooms. Throw J says, tried kissing her. She's laying on the bed. I stand there. Put my lips on hers. She looks sideways while I'm kissing her and scrolls TikTok. Frick you, oh my god frick. You. At Thebasa 664 says, I swear sometimes I just want to throw my husband's phone out the window. Sorry this happened, it's such a slap in the face. Independent Way 3007 says, social media ruining relationships. What is it on the screen that could be so important? Ease_GCM says, disrespectful for sure, but she's obviously not interested. Unisol Magic says, I quit social media 2 years ago and never looked back. In fact, unless we have a social event, I don't even look at my phone from around 6 PM until the following morning. Sun42069 says, I feel yadop, same here, she always busy with TikTok, Instagram, Twitter hours a day, no matter what she or we are doing, can't not look at that screen for 5 minutes. The amount of times halfway through a conversation she just stops answering because she is on TikTok or answering a message or whatever non-stop. ZSH958 says, I feel the same. My ex was watching her phone all the time, reading books or Twitter, even when we were watching a series. I talked to her about this, and she said she needs, and can do both things. She needs more stimulus. I know it's FKN annoying. Sorry for you. Don't allow this shits. If she is more interested on her phone than you, just leave. It will get worse. Jimmy Who Hat says, dumb phones are the future for sure. Smartphones destroying everything. Forsaken Library 555 says, felt this. Bored Lonely Taken says, that sucks. You have to talk with them. r/DeadBedrooms. OK_salt_1956 says. Feeling defeated. The issues in our relationship just keep piling up. I've been trying to help my line's husband through some things for quite a while now, and being supportive and patient. Don't even feel our sex life is on the table right now. I don't know if it will ever be. I'm worried his trauma and decades of self-harm are never going to be resolved enough for us to have a healthy relationship. Things seem to get better for a couple of days, and then something else happens, and it keeps escalating. I feel like I'm starting to lose interest and sympathy for him over some of the more abusive things he has done and said in anger. I'm not usually the source of the anger, but I'm the one who gets to experience it. I guess it's only natural, but I don't feel right abandoning him when he is also vulnerable. I just feel incredibly lonely and scared. I know I'm being vague, but I have nowhere to go with these feelings at the moment. Tanith says. It sounds really difficult. But all I will say is, you aren't obligated to stay with someone in an unhappy relationship because they are mentally ill. I know that you feel responsibility for your husband. But you need to be sure you are staying with him because you genuinely love him and want to be with him. Not out of pity or fear that, if you leave him, he won't cope. Man. I know this whole concept is overwhelmingly difficult. But you can't sacrifice your life happiness because of another person's illness. It's a very, very tough situation you are in. All the best to you. Throwaway_DB_1 says. That sounds so exhausting. I hope you have time and energy besides your relationship to do things you like and have friends that lift you up. You will do great and your best years are yet to come. You will push through and get to a place where you can be truly yourself and feel confident and loved. If it's with him or without him. I'm sure you are a lovely person. r/DeadBedrooms. Poor Pool General says. Beginning of the end. Sleeping alone. Just wanted to share, we almost always go to bed together. Occasionally he falls asleep on the couch or goes to bed before I do. Last night I got in late, so I slept on the couch to not wake him. Tonight we were out together and got home. I grabbed my vibrator off the charger, kissed him goodnight, and assumed my position on the couch. I'm a little sad, but I think I'm going to stick to my guns. You don't usually sleep in bed with your roommate. Brickwex says. We've gradually done this more and more over the years. Sometimes my mind is more at ease when I sleep alone. Toss_it_away 707 says. You don't usually sleep in bed with your roommate. I felt the same way after a multi-year DB. My wife eventually decided that she didn't want that anymore. We seem to have left the DB behind at this point and share the bed most nights. The only exceptions are when one of us is restless or can't sleep. I hope you can get there as well. Todd to TODDDD says. When did things started getting this stale? r/DeadBedrooms. Don't listen to the trees says. It is over. Well, he left. We had a big fight on Monday over other things, and it ended with him asking if I even wanted to be with him anymore, and I said I didn't know. So he left. While he was packing his things, he finally admitted to not being happy for the past 2 years and just staying in the hopes that things would get better, but never making changes and blaming everything on me. So now I know he truly just didn't want me. We were together a total of 10 years, not married, and he literally left with hardly anything. I feel used, but in reality, I was. He was a project when I met him, and now he wants to go back to his old fun life. So be it. This week has been very hard. It's not like I didn't love him. I did. I'm very angry because I could tell he wasn't happy, and I wish he would have just been honest with me. and not make me feel gross, unwanted, and unattractive. He treated me that way, and he even would tell me that I was a horrible person all the time. I truly don't know why I hung on. I didn't deserve that. So now, I'm going to work on me and try to get myself back. I'm slowly getting his things out of the house, and it is becoming mine apparently. I must be attractive and nice as I'm already being noticed by the opposite sex, and this makes me feel really good. I guess I've still got it, and it wasn't me after all. Charger 519 says, wow, the words that pop in my mind are sorry, congratulations, and hell yeah you got it. I'm glad you got the answers you needed. It was never you, it was him. Enjoy your new life. That's Ginamaki Mark says, good on you. Try to avoid future projects. Florida 727 says, wish you the best. Move on. I best you a beautiful woman, keep your head up. Charlie_Q_Brown says, good luck. Hopefully, you will not pick another project and instead notice the love received versus the hope of love moving forward. r/DeadBedrooms. Marcus in London says, casual nudity. My wife is very relaxed about being nude around me, like and she is sitting up in bed topless drinking tea. In some ways I really like this, but it can be frustrating when we rarely have sex. I still check her out sexually in a way I don't think she does with me when I'm naked in front of her. I'm torn between enjoying the view and being reminded of how sexually frustrated I am. Mendizable one says, the sight of a naked man does not do much for most women. Exit7 says, my wife is exactly the same. It's great in some ways, but so frustrating at the same time. Reject 444 says, my wife is pretty conservative, but she will casually and without problem change her clothes, including underwear, in front of me while we are just casually chatting, or whatever. I used to love it, but I've started actively leaving the room when I see she's starting to change, because now it just makes me feel awkward and bad to see her naked like that. It's almost like you accidentally walked in on a friend changing or something. Celtic Gods of America says, my wife will do the same. IDK if it's to torture me or what. But I'll be in bed and she'll come in naked out to have a shower and start putting lotion all over her body. Instant arousal. And I've told her this and that she needs to quit lol. Feisty_honeydew6831 says, I do the same to my husband. Not on purpose anymore, because it doesn't work, but because it's comfortable. r/DeadBedrooms. Throw away 837 says, recently told my LLH that I wanted to take sex out of the equation. He was upset because he apparently thought we were making some kind of progress in that area, but one of the first things he asked was, so you want like an open marriage then? Which I thought was interesting. Not too worried about the fact that we've gone 12 years without him satisfying me or prioritizing my pleasure or needs at all, but now that I won't give him any sex, he's thinking about other people right off the bat. I definitely think he's more concerned about me finding someone else, but a little part of me wonders if he's got someone in mind already. Honestly, if that's the case, then I'm happy. I'm very set on how I feel at this point, and while I agreed we could try individual therapy to help us navigate our lives, I don't think anything is going to change my mind. Feeling much more free just with that conversation a weight lifted, and I hope it's kind of the same for him, since there was so much pressure to make things better it seemed. Allo100 says, 12 years without him satisfying me or prioritizing my pleasure or needs. Sorry. r/DeadBedrooms. Spiritual Hamster 438 says, when to walk away. How many chances do you give before you acknowledge that enough is enough? We've been together 5.5 years, almost no sex for 3.5 years. I, HLF age 26, was rejected for years and now I don't even want to have sex with him anymore. I love him dearly. He's my best friend, but it's almost like we're too close now. Best friends and I can't imagine having sex with him. He always talks about how he is going to change and never does. When is it time to walk away and focus on myself? Holding says, you're not getting any younger. How long do you want to live like this? Independent Way 3007 says, 3.5 years of chances. That's too much. Does he give you that many chances? Find a better partner. Jag5x5NV says, today. Really your best friend? I have a best friend too, mine is also a guy. You know what I don't do with my best friend? Have sex with him. I mean I don't swing that way, but you get my point. When you start thinking of your so as just a friend, you have already left in your mind. You just need to have reality reflect what your mind already knows. Sorry not sorry. It's time to work on that exit plan in GTFO. We have all been there, we all stayed for way too long, at least I know I did. But you said it best friends and I can't imagine having sex with him. So why stay? Are you married? Are there kids? Time to start focusing on you and figuring out what you need to deal with to move on. You can do this. Stay strong. Mission_exit_3660 says, 1 year. Not 366 or day 367, but day 365. If there's not been any improvement, walk. Mixture Recording 4911 says, the moment you realize you called him your best friend didn't qualify by anything. You realize your subconscious doesn't see him as a mate. Probably a solid time to really consider it. Emmet says, the best time to leave was 3 years ago, the second best time is today, the third best option is tomorrow. r/DeadBedrooms. Mighty Magic says, birthday coming up. M41HL. I've kinda insinuated to my DB partner I want to have lunch for my birthday at X location. But now that it's coming closer I'm not sure I want to spend my time with her anymore. She's always picky when things are not quite right whilst I'm easy-go-lucky. She probably refused to hold my hand as we get in there as well, because affection is a no-no. I might get a quick peck on the lips. I know she would feel like giving me duty sex or pity sex. But it follows the pattern she will feel aversion and not want to and make up an excuse. I just don't want to have a stressful, sad and depressing birthday. I'm inclined to flake and make up an excuse I have to be at the office and spend the time with by myself on the beach, park, hike or maybe see a movie. Maybe I'm overthinking, maybe I'm not. Maybe I should follow through and learn my lesson for next year. And plan to spend my day happy by myself. Bsiguy says, your birthday should be non-stressful and enjoyable for you. If you don't want to spend time with her, don't. By all means, go to the beach, see a movie, hell, go to a strip club. Whatever you do, feel no guilt for wanting to have a good day on your birthday. Erida77 says, what if you were just open about wanting a solo B-day? DB_thinker says, or be honest, within reason? I know I said I wanted to go to X for a birthday lunch, but I just feel like that's putting a lot of pressure on you. We both know that public affection is problematic, so a romantic restaurant seems like pressure. And I don't want you to feel pressured into having birthday sex for my benefit. It all just seems like it's not going to be a celebration for either of us. Then come up with a neutral backup plan. If she is expecting to celebrate together, pick something super unsexy. Maybe pizza and a low-key movie. Or you could go someplace not at all sexy. Or have a picnic in the living room. Etc. Xepius says. Duty birthday sexy time. If fun for a moment then you remember oh yeah she's not into it. Then all the other thoughts come into play, like she's only doing it cause it's your birthday and she's not into you, just fulfilling a preconceived role. It's not fun or hot. I know for me the build up to a special occasion isn't worth it anymore. I tell my wife I just want to be alone. I also tell her that sex is off the table, so I can enjoy my day. r/DeadBedrooms. Aggravating System 3 says. Nearly 4 years out view from the other side. Nearly 4 years ago I left a 25 years dead bedroom. I lucked out and met a lovely sexy man with as high libido as me. We moved in quite quickly and have been living together for 3 years now. The sex is fantastic and the relationship wonderful. This sub contributed to realizing leaving was the best option for me, so thank you. MRS 239 says. Congratulations on finding happiness. I found my equal as well. It's amazing, isn't it? Poor Pool General says. This is super inspiring. I know I have to move on, it's just very hard. I want to be in a strong state of mind when I go. Jindali_War says. I'm so happy for you, you go girl. Functionable 9883 says. Success story. Raina Plaz says. Sounds like my story. We got married last summer. Living my best life now. Ending a relationship is scary, but there's so much potential on the other side. Priya Cup says. Love to see positive stories. So happy for you op. Prof JD58 says. Always love a happy ending. Wait. Can I say that? I didn't mean. Never mind. Viteu. Drive says. Me too. I'm much happier. Muted_inside_3922 says. Same here. It's crazy how different a relationship can feel compared to the old one, and him not talking about the NREBC, that feels different too. Looking back at my old journals when I started dating my ex-spouse was really enlightening. Nareditor84 says. I just left a 17-year DB in hope to find this in my future. Happy for you. r/DeadBedrooms. Wildside43 says. How many of us set the bar, not high but just off the ground, only to have it crash down as the line's partner kicked it? I didn't expect much. But a little emotion, not even passion, would have been nice. I picked out a cute card and a box of chocolates. Cliché yes, but it's me thinking of her. I got nothing in return mentally, physically, emotionally, nor sexually. I heard her shouting, so I jumped in with hopes of something. All she did was complain. During the evening, nothing from her. So to all us dumbasses out here, happy day after Valentine's Day. Arfslop says. I hear ya. She said through the day she wanted to do it that night. I came home from work, did all my normal chores, garbage, dog walks, etc. She kept asking me to do a whole bunch of other things that she normally does. Whatever, I'd usually do it either way, but sure, no complaints, let's have a nice night. Can't get her attention all night, Instagram and TikTok have her mind. Come bedtime she won't put her book down. Typical day, typical shit. Wouldn't have hurt normally, but why lead me on so much all day? Why? Feels like a kick in the face. Low expectations hurt just the same. Learnt my lesson, stay at no expectations. Deadman Wilkins says. So this is the first V-Day I've had since I set a no initiation plan in action at the end of last year. I knew the odds were very low anything would happen, I mean my god. It's a weeknight. But even with that, I got to admit, for a guy, I primped a little. Put a little extra time to be clean, shaven, and smelling nice in the event she was interested in intimacy. She wasn't, of course. And while I've been working on separating my sexual satisfaction from my marriage relationship, I still felt let down. Oh, we bought each other gifts and I have to admit she hit it out of the park. But it doesn't help the feeling we've become roommates who happen to like each other's presents. I8Vols says, lol. This is totally me. I've even said my bar for sexual excitement is right around a sloth level. But at this rate, I can't even get snail level excitement. Satorensky says, right, I hear you. I just bought flowers, kiss in the cheek, because she's always rejecting me that she hasn't showered, or just ate spicy food, and caught a basketball game and audiobook, until I fell asleep. r/DeadBedrooms. Live_serve_die says, it's always not right now, maybe later, let me approach you, but it later never comes, and the approach never happens. Title sums it up. My wife and I have been together almost 5 years, and if this were a recent development, that would be one thing, but sex has been an issue for us for probably 4 out of 5 of those years. Which, when I put it that way, frick, kills me. She is constantly telling me that I approach her too much, not just for sex, but some other physical touch like kisses or cuddles. Saying that I never give her time to initiate touches herself, but I try holding back for as long as I can, and it takes so long. And I know why it takes so long. She is needing to take care of everything else in her brain before taking off her pants. The thing is, there is always something more she is adding to her list every goddamn day. So, she is making sure she gets what she needs done, or I'm meeting her needs, lots of acts of service. Meanwhile I'm waiting months, just for her to feel like it. It's bullshit that, even if I don't feel like tearing up our backyard, or washing the car, I do it, because I love her, and want to make her happy. But if she doesn't want to have sex, even though she knows it's what I need, I'm just shit out of luck. I needed to vent. I don't want advice, really. I'm just thinking about this morning, when I was feeling particularly attracted to my wife, because she is beautiful, I love her, I need her, and I want to show her. Fairly quickly she asks me, how recently did you tell me you were going to try and let me approach you? Gee, thanks. But she did follow up with, I'm not feeling up for it right now, but maybe later? Which would be a great thing to say, if later ever actually came. I mean, I suppose days, weeks, or months later is technically later. I'm trying not to let my annoyance show on the outside, because I know that will only make it harder for her to get in the mood. But God help me, I need to bring up counseling. Couples. Preferably with a sex therapist. Ugh, rant over. Again, no advice. I'm just feeling pent up and annoyed. Nautistrada says, you are the last of her priorities. You'll never catch the moving goalposts. You're not alone, friend. Redditrader_Atafan says, counseling sounds like a good idea. Smilingman 2023 says, that sucks, man. I know how you feel. You do everything you can for her, and it feels like you get nothing in return. Good luck with the counseling, hope it helps. r/DeadBedrooms. Nutella Nico says, when you love them, but the promises feel empty. Whenever we do have sex, I've been wanting him to be more spontaneous, more playful, more fun. I have been saying this now for 2+ years, and tonight the response was, I'll try, but you need to work on loving yourself more. He has been saying I'll try for so long. I really don't want to leave him, because I see this as such an easy fix, and the love really is there. I just feel boring. I feel unattractive. When random men pay any sort of attention to me, it feels like a drug. I just want the sex to be fun. I want to have makeout sessions. I want spontaneity. I want to have sex in all different rooms of the house. I want to feel like I'm truly worth the effort. The romance is there, but the sexual aspect isn't strong, and I feel broken. I feel like there's something wrong with me. I crave passion and intimacy with someone I love. I crave mattering enough to have my own bodily instincts and feelings acknowledged. I shouldn't be trying to take my SSRIs to lower my sex drive. I shouldn't start crying because I feel like he hasn't listened all this time. I shouldn't feel so flawed, as if something is wrong with me. I shouldn't feel so alone. Perth Guy 999 says, what's the easy fix? If it hasn't happened in 2 years, then it probably won't happen in 20 years. People who want fun, passionate sex have it. Willing Relief 706 says, very sorry to hear about your situation. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to feel craved and desired by the one that you love. I know how empty promises feel. Sometimes they hurt more than outright being turned down. It makes you feel like they are just replying with what you want to hear to appease you or quickly get off of the subject. I hope you find the path that works best for you eventually. r/DeadBedrooms. Andrew 416705 says, my $0.02. I've been a long time lurker here, trying to find some solace or comfort in other situations which seem all too familiar with what I'm experiencing, and have been experiencing, with what seems like forever. A look from the outside in, and most would think that surely my wife and I would have a great sex life. We are both very good looking people, have 3 kids, are young, well, late 30s, and seemingly have everything imaginable going for us. Except her desire for me, that it is. It's quite literally been over 3 years since I've had a blowjob, and quite honestly can count the amount of times we've had sex on one hand over the same time span. Longer even, wasn't great before the kids came either. Things were okay before we were married. I'm reaching a point where I'm tangibly, meaningfully, feeling my mental health deteriorate. I'm in disbelief when I take a step back and realize just how little sex and intimacy I've had in the last 5 years of my life. I feel literally sick to my stomach as I write this, knowing that with the way things currently are with my wife, it's probably not going to change, ever. I don't know how I'm going to be able to fill this need, this void in my life short of literally getting divorced, which I just cannot see myself doing, because of the love I have for my kids. And even still for my wife, or somehow having an affair, which, even if I was willing to do, I don't know where, or how that'd even realistically be able to happen. So yeah. I'm not sure really what the point of this post is other than I guess needing somewhere, somehow to vent my pain and frustration, and I guess as well say thanks to the others here that have shared their stories, so that I haven't felt like the only person going through this. To anyone reading this who may be in a long-term relationship, but not yet married, my advice to you for God's sake is to make absolutely certain that you and your partner are on the same wavelength with your sexual wants, needs, appetite, whatever you want to call it, before you embark down a more complex journey together. Good luck to all on here who know the very real pain of rejection, neglect, and, partnered, involuntary celibacy. Oops okay says, how old are your kids? Document available 683 says, some people struggle to read the entire post. Sorry man. That is tough. Try to be kind and nice. If you aren't going to love her, then understand that is your choice, and don't make her life worse. It may get better or at least similar to pre-kids once they are older. r/DeadBedrooms. Axis Ad again says, going to the bar on Valentine's Day instead of going home to him. I'm not gonna do anything, but I'm gonna treat myself to a nice dinner and some drinks and wear a really nice outfit and do some self-love. I feel so depressed. Ozzyski says, Is this the guy you started dating late last year? I'm sorry things are so bad already. What's keeping you together? That's Ginamaki Mark says. Self-care is important when living a DB. Untrue Civility 30 says. Prioritize yourself. Enjoy and discover new things. That's all for this video. Was it good? I know not, for I'm a robot. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. This video is the product of an automated process.